Hello everybody, this is David Blair, the Crosshairs Trader. Today I would like to introduce you to my trading strategy that I have developed over years of trading, and I recently programmed it into the TradeStation platform, and it is available for use. You may contact me at my website at thecrosshairstrader.com. I would also encourage you to visit my blog there and sign up to receive my updated posts. I would love to have you. From time to time I do have live webinars for non-members, and I have twice weekly webinars for members. I'd love to have you inquire about how to become a Crosshairs trader, how to possibly have the Crosshairs indicator downloaded for use, or simply follow the strategy via my webinars. Completely up to you. You may contact me at any time, again at thecrosshairstrader.com. But let me share with you my trading strategy, a little bit about it, and how it looks in the TradeStation platform. Here there are several different sections here that I want to explain. First of all, I use multiple charts. I use three. I use an intraday chart here, which is a 144-minute chart. I use the daily chart, and I use the weekly chart. I like to have all my charts agree when I decide to enter a trade, which simply means if there is a long trade on an intraday chart, I want to make sure that the daily chart and the weekly chart is also showing signs of bullishness. Now, one thing about my trading strategy, I do trade both long and short, and my crosshairs fire when there is a short trade. There is a red crosshair for the down and a green crosshair for the up. So I do trade both long and short. And right now, as of today, you can see that HCP on the daily chart is firing a bullish crosshair. It did it back here. It is doing it again. Okay. Also on these charts are moving averages. Moving averages not only from the chart that you see, but also moving averages from the weekly chart here from the daily. And then when you look at the 144, I have the weekly and the daily moving averages transposed here, so that I can have them all on the same chart and be able to look for how these moving averages could possibly affect my trade, either positively or negatively. In this middle column here, in our webinars, we talk about stocks that are in reserves, that are drafted, and ones that are deployed. What that simply means is reserves refers to stocks that could be setting up a possible crosshair but has not done it yet, based on several factors that we look at. And then drafted simply means these are stocks that have fired a crosshair, such as AXP right now on the daily, but there are certain other things that need to take place before we get into that trade. It's also recently fired a crosshair on the weekly chart. So we have a crosshair on the weekly and the daily forming right now, and that is a bullish crosshair. So those are drafted. However, there are certain other things that we look at before we determine whether or not it's a high probability trade. FSLR, for instance, is one that has fired also. Okay, and then deployed simply means these are stocks wherein there has been a stock that was drafted that has now reached a point where it has become a high probability trade due to the other considerations that we look at. There are none right now, but recently there was Adobe. Give you for instance of a down trade. Here it was on the daily chart. This is one that the Crosshairs traders were alerted to, and we discussed in the webinar as it was happening. and that was a high probability trade at that time. So none are deployed now, but these are the reserves, the drafted and the deployed. In the far left hand side here is the TradeStation radar screen, and the way I've developed this here is whenever there is a trade, whether a long or a short, it will give me an indication here, and then I can look at the chart. Now the way I have my stocks set up is I have them based on categories. I have futures, major indexes, general market ETFs for those who trade ETFs, treasuries, foreign markets, energy related stocks, metals, retail, technology, financial, healthcare, biotech, industrial goods, heavy equipment, conglomerates, real estate, utilities, agricultural stocks, transport, solar. All of these are in different categories, and within each one of these categories you will have a crosshair that lights up that lets me know. For instance, let's take a look at PAAS. The L30 simply means that it was a long trade, and it's a green block 30 candles ago on the 144, and that there was also, for instance, here on the GLD, a short trade 26 candles ago. These will fire and will stay in this column, or each one of these columns, for up to 30 candles. So with GLD, there was a crosshair that fired down. You can see this from several days ago. Right here, S26. EXPE, for instance, just fired one 3 candles ago on the 144 here. So this is one that you look at during the day, and then in the middle column is one that you can watch daily. This is our daily chart. So for instance, you had Halliburton that fired a crosshair 4 days ago on the daily chart. You can see that here. That's a green candle there. And you can see they're in order here. S13 CCJ was actually one that we discussed in our webinar. Here, a red one to go down. Let's see if there was any new ones that fired recently. FMCN, there's one to go up. And then you can switch to the weekly. Click on the weekly. It will give you crosshairs that have fired on the weekly charts. We have had a few lately, both up and down. Give you one here. CHK is a crosshair down. The last crosshair on CHK on the weekly chart was in 08 to go up. All of the stocks that I have in here in these categories are based on high beta, high volume, and they also must be optionable. So this is the Crosshairs trading platform. You can download this whole strategy and all of this information down into your TradeStation account. If you do not have TradeStation, you can actually follow our webinars and follow along with us as we locate high probability trades. Again, I appreciate your time. Appreciate you being here, taking a look. I'm sure there's a lot of questions. Please contact me anytime at david@thecrosshairstrader.com. Thank you.